Hi there. In this video, we'll discuss the training of the BizBaby dashboard and navigational items. So thanks for watching and let's start. So let's look at the header first, and we'll start from the left side towards the right. I guess that makes it more organized. So on the left-hand side, we can see the company name, Seattle Modern Landscapes. Growth, that's the name of the plan that is selected right now on this company. So the growth is the highest plan, the most advanced plan that BizBaby offers. Over here, the button allows you to select to switch businesses between the businesses that are connected to this account. So in this case, it's a very useful feature where you have multiple accounts, multiple businesses, and you want to manage them all in one place. So for example, you're a landscaper, but at the same time, you also own a trash removal, right? Or a snow plowing business, right? And you want to keep those businesses separate. So you would have different accounts for each business, but you would want to manage it from one, personal account, right? User. And in this case, it'll be very easy to switch between them and just keep track of what's going on in each of those businesses. So this is a very, very convenient feature. Let's go further. So the help button is obviously to reach out to help to BizBaby. There's three ways to do that. One is just connecting with the customer service through the internal calling feature, right? BizBaby has a calling and messaging feature, call center. When you click that, it brings you into that page where you can connect with the phone support, customer support, directly through your business phone number that you've selected for your business, right? Submitting a ticket, it's a very easy way of doing that. Just clicking the button, putting the title, putting the details. You can take a screenshot of the page. If something's wrong is going on a page that you want to report, or you have a question, you can also attach pictures, and you literally click submit button, and that is it. This is a super fast way of submitting a ticket. Or you can just call us directly from your cell phone, this number you see on a screen. So that's the help button. The notifications, it shows you the most important things that are going on with your account, whether that's coming from your customers. So in this case, a declined invoice payment is quite an important thing that you want to address right away if the customer did not pay for invoice. So it will show up here and you can click on that and it will bring you right directly to that invoice. Or in this case, you have two other notifications that you want to set up voicemail. They're reminders, and you want to set up work hours if you haven't done that yet. If you've done that, they wouldn't show up here, right? So obviously I haven't. And there's obviously more notifications that will be coming up regarding other additional things that are important for you to take note of and actually, take action on. Account settings is the button that brings you to the business account information and various settings. We'll create a specific video for that feature because there's a lot of information and it will not fit in this video. Then this button, it shows you your name, obviously, and you can change account information here, and you can change the password as well. It's quite easy. And the logout button, of course. So this header will be visible on every page. So you can switch the companies on any page in BizBaby and navigate these additional buttons as well. Now let's look at the elements below. This is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, this is your name again. We like greeting you anywhere you come, but obviously BizBaby, that's the page that you land on. And this is your bird's eye view of what's happening in your business for today on the last 7 days. And so let's start from this, learn the difference between jobs and service appointments. This is a very important part. And it actually really brings up the reason of why we decided to work on BizBaby in the first place. When we looked at the software that exists on the market, it either focuses on managing big projects, right? The jobs, the construction jobs, remodeling jobs, or whatever that requires quoting, visitations, right? The sending invoices, the jobs that take weeks, if not months, to complete, right? And you have to collect that documentation. You have to visit the property of the client. You have to do a lot of steps in order for this job to be managed properly, right? Assigning workers. And we see a lot of businesses neglecting another piece of a puzzle, this part of the business that's called service appointments, right? In this case, it's appointments for small projects, right? It's something that you know ahead of time how much it can cost. For example, it could be in a landscaping business, it could be a yard cleanup, right? Depending on the size of the yard, the price will stay more or less the same, right? You can add a different modifiers into it. For example, a 1 acre yard will start from $250, but then 2 acre yards cleanup, it could be double that, or like it could be $350, and so on and so forth. So depending on the size of the property, the price ahead of time, and the customers can schedule this appointment for exact date they like, right? The date and time, and they can see the total right away. It's $350, and they can add a credit card into that appointment as well, prompting, right, allowing you to process the payment so you can just come and do the cleanup, right? There's no need for quotes, right? More or less it's going to cost $350. You can make some adjustments later on. That's fine when you're on a property. And if you see something is off, you can always edit that. But ahead of time, right? The customers have the confidence that they will be charged $350 if obviously the property is what they say it is, right? They can attach pictures to that as well. And with confidence, you can dispatch a worker to do the cleanup, right, for the day and the time that is scheduled. It doesn't require quotes. It doesn't require visitation ahead of time. It doesn't require, sending an invoice for the payment and then chasing that client to pay that invoice, right? It's super annoying. And I can see that's one of the biggest headaches that businesses, experience today is service businesses, is that they need to change those clients to get that invoice paid, right? It could be 30 days, it could be 60 days, it could be 90 days past. And it's quite painful, and it's a big problem. And when it comes to service appointments, you can charge this payment before the appointment, right? If your worker needs to travel 2 hours to the client's property, you can charge that ahead of time. You can put that as a disclaimer. The payment will be processed prior to the appointment completion, right? In this case, if they fail to pay or the payment didn't go through, you can cancel the appointment and you can schedule something else, right? So in this case, it's very transparent, and it qualifies leads into actual customers, right? So you can go with this route for all the projects that are not like construction or remodeling, complex projects. And it's a significant revenue generator, right? Some businesses focus just on service appointments, right? It could be home cleaning. It could be something else, right? So these types of businesses, or like pool cleaning, exactly how much it'll cost depending on the size of the pool or the size of the apartment. And you can set those parameters for customers to choose, right? The 2 bedrooms, $300, 4 bedrooms, $400, right? The pool size and all that. And they can check out right at that moment when they click the button to place, an appointment order. And so combining these two aspects of work, right, the two types of projects, allows businesses to have this flexibility of, managing the slow and busy times, between when you have summer period full of busy, big projects for jobs, but then you have winter times. You don't really have a lot of those. And you want to focus on, filling these gaps, make sure you keep having this revenue, right? And service appointments is a beautiful way to get that, additional stream of revenue that keeps the business going. And it eliminates the risks, right, from going under, right? If you have 3 months with no big projects, it's much harder to sustain, right? And the workers need to be working on something, right? You're not going to be paying them a weekly payroll if they're just sitting and waiting for those big jobs to come, right? So the service appointment is a beautiful way to offset those risks. Yeah, and so let's go into the comparison chart. It's quite easy to understand here that, custom jobs is a type of project, is a complex. For service appointments, it's simple or small projects. quotes and invoices. It is required for custom jobs because, again, you need that confirmation that they agree on that $100,000 project. And then you'll need that a payment with a signature, right, for invoice. Of course, for service appointments, it's optional, right? There's no quotes because, of course, they already see the price ahead of time. But there is an option to send an invoice if you choose to go that route, right? You can charge them up front, you can charge them later after completion, or you can send them invoice and ask them to pay. It really depends on the business, and this is a very flexible way of working. Payments. Payment is collected after work is complete for jobs, but it could be done anytime for appointments, just like I described it. Who submits the payment? For jobs is the customer, but for appointments, it could be you as a business owner. You could process the payment because the customer already gave you the credit card and permission, or you can send that invoice to customer again and have them actually pay that instead of you. It all depends on you. Estimated total. There's no estimated totals on jobs because there's no job alike, but the service appointments, absolutely. That's the full, that's the juice, right? The service appointments, you see the total up front, and then you can schedule subscriptions based on that, whether that's weekly, monthly, quarterly subscriptions. In terms of landscaping business, for example, you can schedule these yard cleanups every single 3 months, right? You can be cleaning the leaves in the fall. You can be cleaning the debris in the spring when all the snow melts. You can be even cleaning the snow itself too, right? So every 3 months you can be scheduling these, and it's a subscription, so it does it automatically. And again, the payment every 3 months, right? It's a recurring revenue. Payment required. Yes, for jobs, obviously you need to get paid for those projects. For the service appointments, doesn't have to be. Maybe you'd have an appointment for a Zoom call, right? Maybe you scheduled it for the date and time to have a Zoom call that's free, right? It's just for maybe an estimation of the big project, right? And you can schedule that. No payment required. Is also another reason why you would not want to collect payments is for, let's say if you have a maintenance plan for the residential property where you charge them one time for like a year or one time per whatever it is the period of time, but you keep coming to their property every single week to keep servicing them property, right? Whether that's cleaning home, cleaning yard, right? Cleaning windows, right? Window cleaners. It's perfect when you just need to come and do the servicing, but it's not connected to the payment aspect too, right? So this works beautiful for a lot of businesses. Best payment method. We recommend that for big projects, right, that cost thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars, we recommend the checking account for this option because it's a $5 fee at the cap, right? So if you're $100,000 project and it only costs you $5 in fees, it's amazing. But when it comes to credit cards, the fees are quite high, right? It's a 2.9 to 3.1 processing fee. And so we suggest only using credit cards for simple projects, right? Simple for the service appointments, because in this case, you're allowing the simplicity, right, of client to start this project, right? When they're filling out this form, they can just add the credit card and that's it. And boom, the payment is done and you can come the next day to do the service itself, right? And it will be much more complex for them to be adding and verifying the bank account, right? We want to make sure it's secure. There's no fraud going on there at all. So the credit card is the best way to process the service appointments. And obviously BizBaby provides the processing, the payment processing. So you don't have to worry about that at all. So it's all already set up for the use. Signature contracts. Yes, it's a requirement for the jobs. They need to approve with a signature, digital signature for the quote, and then digital signature for the invoice. And all of that information is saved in a database where it's a digital contract that verifies that the customer agreed for the terms and then they agreed to pay for the project. It doesn't have to be, it's an optional for appointments because again, it's a credit card payment, the $300. You can just process that obviously with no signature, or you can send an invoice and then they will have to do the signature, and in this case, I guess a little bit more protection in case it's a new customer, right? They're the first time customer and you don't know anything about them. But for the repeat customers, it's really not necessary. So you can just charge them every time you do the service. Customer consent for the jobs is when approving the quote, but for the customers, it's when submitting appointment at the checkout, right? As soon as they see this total, they selected all the options. The total has updated to, like, let's say $375 with taxes. They click, I agree. Schedule the appointment for this time. Nothing else needed. Okay, and the level of management required. It's obvious what we discussed. It's a high level of management for the jobs, right? You need to manage every job personally, right? Or manager, right? You need to handle the incoming request details. You need to create a visit to the property or to the place of business of your client. And then you need to create this complex quote, right? Where you need to put the labor, you need to put the parts, right? The materials, you need to maybe regulatory approvals, right? So all of that, and sometimes quote takes days to complete, right? So it's quite a complex project in itself to create quotes. And then you do the job scheduling where you put the worker, assign the worker onto the jobs or multiple workers, right? And it could take weeks of completion. So maybe multiple workers for different times. Then you need job scheduling for the customer too. Somebody has to be there. Then checks on a progress. You need to be constantly checking whether is it going along with the timeline? Is everything completed? There's no hiccups. Then inspection of the completion. Then the documentation. You need to collect all those documents. And then, of course, submit the invoice for payment. And then follow up of the invoice. And then making sure it gets paid, right? So this is quite a complex way of managing. And again, you can do all of this on BizBaby, right? It's all part of BizBaby. You can, it's all already integrated, so there's no question in that. But the additional stream, you can do the appointments where very low management required. Customer chooses and confirms all options at the checkout. Appointment scheduling, for with a worker. You just assign a worker onto the appointment, and then you might even call the customer ahead of time that every appointment is still holding, right? And you can actually go and do the servicing. And then you do the payment, right? You process the payment, and you can do that ahead of time, or you can send the invoice after the completion. So, and this step could be automated, right? We have automated text confirmation where customers get an automated text message and they just respond to it with yes, confirm. And then you don't even need to do that yourself. All you need is just to assign the worker and process payment. Boom, done, get paid. This is very beautiful how that offsets, and it helps the businesses to bring that additional revenue. And a lot of businesses don't understand. A lot of times you can win the customer with a very simple and small appointment for their property or whatever it is that they need to servicing with. And then after you earn that trust, you can get complex, big projects, jobs from those clients eventually when the trust is earned and and you become the contractor of choice. If they need remodeling or rebuilding, they will come to you for the jobs. So this is a very beautiful way of bringing additional business right through these appointments, right? So, and that's where the next steps are coming from, right? So you can see the job section where it shows you the bird's eye view of what's going on with your business when it comes to job requests, right? So you have 2 declined payments. That's not good. You have, first of all, you have 1 new request within the last 7 days. That's not bad, right? Because those projects could be, tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So 1 new project per week, that could be really good, right? So declined payments, you want to make sure you handle that. So you click on it and it brings you into the payments that you can talk to customers and figure out how to get, that payment through. You have unanswered requests. In this case, somebody submitted a request for the job and you have not yet looked at it. You have not yet sent the quote. It will be sitting here to make sure you do address that, because again, that's a business coming your way. You want to make sure you take actions to send those quotes. And then once the quote is sent, we have 1 approved quote that's waiting for you to start working on. So you can start the job process, right? You can assign workers. So it shows you the things to take advantage of, to take action on. Yeah, and so this is a job section. There will be more items that will pop up here, but these are like the ones that are in this demo account. Now into appointments. Now I have 2 new appointments within the last 7 days. It's not a lot. But again, this is a test, it's a test business account. I have 3 uncompleted appointments, and that's not great. That means that the appointments have to be done, but they haven't been updated to done. Or maybe they need to be canceled, right? So you need to figure out why the appointments have not been updated to completion. Maybe the worker forgot to update it to that he completed, or maybe there were no-shows, right? Maybe the worker came to the property, but nobody was there, right? And they need to be canceled. And so they will show up here as, uncompleted. Then it will be declined payments as well, or other things that you need to take action on, right? It's a bird's eye view to see what's going on and gives you the latest, the most important information here. Now, personal cabinet. You as an owner as well have a personal cabinet where you can see the jobs that are assigned to you for today or tomorrow. And you can see the times, right, of when you need to complete them. And again, as owners or managers, we have to get our hands dirty and we have to go out there and do the job sometimes. Or maybe you want to assign those jobs to workers and your personal cabinet will be empty. But they will have the same exact cabinet for themselves, right? Where they go to the cabinet and they handle their jobs. They see the address, they see the customer information, they see the time, they see all the documents that needed for the project, and they can see it and they can go complete it. Now, the fourth and last piece is the call center. This is the deal. It's a game changer when it comes to managing your business. You have your phone number, your business phone number, your email, right, assigned for the business. And you manage these calls, texts, and emails right in BizBaby, right? So this button here, or go to call center, that's where you can manage all the calls and messages and emails all in one place, right? From all of the customers, the vendors, it's one communication center. And in this case, it shows me how many inbound calls, texts, and emails I had in the last 7 days, just to see what's going on. And then how many I have missed, right? Currently I have 7 missed calls that I have not yet addressed, right? So I need to click on it, go and see who called me, and then maybe call them back, or maybe mark them as not important, right? So mark them as done, and they will zero out. The same thing with outstanding messages. I have emails and text messages from someone that I need to read and maybe do something about, maybe respond to, right? So it shows me that I need to do something here, and you want to make sure that you respond to all of the requests for business, all of the leads, questions. They could turn into business, right? So this is a very important thing to keep track of. All in one place again here in the same browser. You go and you actually start talking to your customers through the browser. Just put on a headphone and you're in business. That's it. Simple. And obviously the training, we have training assigned here for each of these sections. So the call center, it just shows you the steps that you need to complete to have a better understanding how it works. So I have not yet created custom greetings. So you could do that, or you can use the default greetings. They're quite beautiful as well, but for a personal touch of your own business, you want to create that greeting for yourself, for your business. Additional settings, and then make your first call, receive a first call to understand how it works. A lot of people have this, it takes hard to understand that you're talking through a browser, right? It's a real phone number, right? It's a real business phone number that people call, and you accept phone calls in your browser or on a phone, right? We have an application for that as well. Or send an email through the browser or text message. Again, all in one place. But we'll talk about it later, right? Appointments, I've completed almost all the steps and jobs. They are the same. And yeah, I did not set the tax rate. I need to do it. But since this is a demo website, it's not a real website, I'm not going to do it, but it literally takes 2 seconds to put in the tax rate that you have and then just use it. So I'm 83% completed on the tasks. It's not too bad. I'm a human being. So we're not perfect. Yeah, and this is it when it comes down to the dashboard operations list, right? The bird's eye view on what's going on with your business. And let's look at the menu, all the things that you can use in BizBaby. So the dashboard we already talked about. The jobs, it's the section where you can manage the jobs all the way from where you got the request and all the way to the end where you get the invoice paid, right? Including the payment that's done through BizBaby. Service payment appointments. This is a section for the appointments, managing the actual appointments, appointment payments, subscription management, and payment subscriptions, right? So you create the subscription for those appointments every week or every month or every quarter or every year, whatever it is, the frequency you want to choose. They will keep creating for specific service, for a specific customer. And then you have payment subscriptions. They're not attached to anything. You can just create a payment subscriptions for every month for whatever it is the service you provide. This is also a very beautiful and convenient way of working with your clients. Now, call and message center. We did talk about it. You can review statistics of all the calls are recorded, right? All the messages, all the emails, and the tickets that you create for your customers. If something goes wrong, you want to make sure you have ticket management for that. And settings. The management section for managing your customers, managing employees, and managing payroll, right? All in one place. Email marketing for sending emails or email campaigns and updates or promos or whatever it is to your customers, all integrated within the BizBaby, right? It's very easy to use. Tasker functionality where you can create tasks for yourself or for your employees. You can have recurring tasks like checking every week if there's any mail left, right? It could be simple, stupid things, or it could be something complex, right? Like reminder to file taxes on this date, right? Different tasks. And it's beautiful how it's integrated into the system, working with all the other tools. Notepad, where you keep all the documentation, all the files, all the important information about your business. It could be, an explainer, trainers on how to perform specific jobs, or it could be just information on how to open email account, right, with your password and something else in it, right? It's really up to you what you want to use the notes for. You have the reports section where all of the information could be exported in a PDF format of your sales, how many jobs, how many appointments, how many clicks, right? How many leads you collected, where they came from, how much money they spent. So all the reports, and for your accounting purposes, you can get in reports. And the last but not the least, vehicle management. For all of the companies that use company vehicles for doing the job, right? You can manage every aspect of your vehicles, from the maintenance, from the repair invoices. You can track how much each vehicle had in repairs for a specific time, where you can see the specific cars breaking down too much and it costs too much to maintain them. You might want to get rid of those. But the other ones that keep running well, maybe you want to, maybe the worker that has that car is using it very, very carefully. And that's great, right? This is great information to have. Police reports, accident reports, pictures, right? Everything that you need is in a vehicle management. And that basically highlights all the functionality that you can see from here, the dashboard and the header. I hope this was very educationally useful. Thank you very much for using BizBaby, and I hope this will help you grow the business to different levels completely. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. We're talking about other functionalities in the more deeper aspects. Talk to you soon.